All right, let me share that. All right, think about this. Remember back in chapter 15 when Saul was going to wipe out the Amalekites, or Amalekites, and didn't do it? Pushed them down to the border. That's why I found them way down south a while ago on the mountain. And what Mike says that the possibility is they need women and children to rebuild their population. Because Saul had killed a bunch of them. He just didn't kill all of them. Brought the king back and some of the best stuff like this. But maybe they didn't kill the women and children because they needed them to start trying to rebuild their nation down there. So possibility at least think about. Okay, David gets everything that they've taken in Ziklag, plus he got the plunder from all the other raids they've been doing. He comes back with all this big load of plunder, all this booty that you got here, and the men, as they start going back, what they said, I think of the praise to David's plunder, okay? So he's going back and taking all this stuff back as they're going back toward the men here. And when the 400 of David get back up to where the 200 are, the ravine that couldn't cross it, the 400 men start saying, this is ours. We went to battle. We're going to keep all this stuff. You can have your family back. That's it. They just spoke up. What did David say? No, it's fair. They're part of us. Everybody's going to share alike. And it says that became a statue then from then on. Well, if you go back to these two passages on the bottom now, number 31 and Joshua 22, you'll find this has already been stated twice before. That those who stay with the baggage, stay with the goods, stay in the camp, are just to be taken part of those who go out and actually do the raids. This was actually nothing new, but they did step in and make it thus. So they all shared together, and they got back. Now, let's back to Ziklag, and he takes some of the plunder that would belong to some of the other cities in Judah. Judah. What's magic about Judah, David? What tribe David from? Judah, okay. So he takes some of this plunder he got, and then with these Amalekites had gotten some of these cities in Judah, and he sends it back to them. Now, the other thing to think about, when David's been rambling all down to that southern part down there, he needs some help. He needs food for those men, he needs other things like this, and food for Saul. So he may just be paying these guys, these towns in Judah, for what they've done for him. And he gave their part of the plunder back to them and kept the other part there. So that kind of wraps up that one chapter there. David's gone come down. Those things weren't taken. Went back down, found Ziklag wiped out, went down and found the Amalekites and wiped them out. Got all the people back, got the plunder back, and brought it back up. Okay? Anything right up there? Have it? This is not my bounty. This is God did it. God gave these. Who told them to go fight them? When the choir with the ephod, God said, "Go, you'll be successful." David's giving God the credit. Yeah, he went back and said, "Yeah, you'll be successful." But we ain't part of it. Okay. Now let's go up north. I'll leave that part there a minute. Let's go up here to the north part, this Jezreel Valley. We've got 2 or 3 mountains to look at here to kind of see where we are. All right, this is Mount Carmel. It sticks out in the Mediterranean Sea. Everybody knows Mount Carmel. It's out there. Sea of Galilee up here. Jordan Valley come down through here. This is the Jezreel Valley, kind of arrowhead-shaped thing. We'll see in the video in a minute more about it. So this is Shunem. We talked about last time, and indoors, right up above it up here, where David went up there. Saul did to see the witch up indoor. So we zoom in a little bit on it here. Here's indoor where the witch was. This is the city of Shunem. Here's Jezreel, what's about his name. That's where they would camp for battle. All right, this is Mount Gilboa. You got to know about Mount Gilboa there. So I put some numbers up here to kind of help get the elevation and mine a little bit. Our field down here is actually 592 feet above sea level. We're talking about 600 feet above sea level. Athens is about right at 800. Okay, 800. On Santa over there, about 16, and Lookout Mountain up in the corner of the state is about 2,400. This elevation, if you think about it. All right, Mount Gilboa here is 1,600 feet. This valley here is at 230 feet. So it's a pretty good little hill sticking up here, mountain, compared to these things here. But look at this right here. Beth Shan, which will come into play in the story, is minus 400 feet. It is down to that Jordan Valley down there, and this is actually the Jordan River right here. It's 800 feet below sea level. So if you take the 800 feet here, this is about 5 miles across right here. So you're talking about 10 miles across the Mount Gilboa. You go from minus 800 to 1,600 feet elevation. So you got a pretty good contrast there. So let's just kind of get some of this stuff in mind. It helps you appreciate the terrain there. Okay. All right, got a little video we're going to watch here. It's going to talk about this valley here a little bit, get you indoctrinated a little bit more with it. We'll play about 2 minutes of it. We're going to jump over to where it talks about actual Saul's death and the Mount Gilboa and how it plays into there. So we'll watch a little bit, jump over and watch about another 30 seconds over there. Okay, Jeremy.
Shalom, and welcome to the Satellite Bible Atlas, video number 6, map 1-4. The focus of map 1-4 is the Jezreel Valley and the Lower Galilee. The general location of the terrain in map 1-4 is situated in the north-central area of the land of Israel. We described in video number 3 that the Jezreel Valley is a wide, flat plain between the center of the country to the south and mountainous Galilee to the north. This makes the Jezreel Valley a hub of international routes that crisscross Israel, a kind of grand central station. Before we take a closer look at the Jezreel Valley and the routes that come in and out of the valley from all directions, let's first see the regions that surround the Jezreel Valley. To the west is Mount Carmel, including the Shephelah, or foothills of Carmel. Northwest is the plain of Asher, which spreads out from the modern seaport city of Haifa on the slope of Mount Carmel to Akko, Ptolemais in the north. North of the Jezreel Valley is Lower Galilee, a series of east to west running mountain ranges that are bisected by wide plains. Note the town of Nazareth on the mountainous ridge just north of the Jezreel Valley. On the east, note eastern Lower Galilee, and to the southeast, Mount Gilboa. Between eastern Lower Galilee and Mount Gilboa is the wide Harod Valley, which serves as a route to and from the east. Finally, note the Jordan Rift Valley, including the Sea of Galilee and the lower Jordan River Plain. From a high spot on Mount Carmel, let's get a view of the Jezreel Valley from west to east. Note the agricultural productivity of the Jezreel Valley. The name Jezreel means God will plant. Looking across the valley, some 10 to 15 miles away, are the Nazareth Ridge, Mount Tabor, and the Hill of Moreh. Turning just a bit to the south, here's the Hill of Moreh, the Harod Valley, and Mount Gilboa. Now let's take a closer look at the routes and site locations associated with the Jezreel Valley. One Bible geographer called the Jezreel Valley a stage with entry. In Saul's final days, the Philistines encamped at Shunem near the Hill of Moreh. They were in a position to not only compete for control of the important routes in the Jezreel Valley, but also to drive a wedge between Israelite northern and southern tribes. King Saul gathered his forces at Jezreel and then snuck around the Philistines to get counsel from a witch at Endor, to no avail. The next day, Saul was wounded, retreated, and died on Mount Gilboa. The Philistines found his body and hung it on the walls of Beth-shan.
Yeah. Right, chapter 31 now. Saul's death. Wound up Saul. On Mount Gilboa up there, there's upper battle. Philistines are fighting Saul down in the valley there, Jezreel, and then they're pressing hard against them, and the battle's not going their way, and winds up with Saul and all three sons being killed. So Jonathan, Abinadab, and Malchishua, three sons are all killed, and Saul is getting away. As he's getting away, the archers find him, and they wound Saul, almost kill him. And so Saul asked his armor bearer to finish him off, because he doesn't want the uncircumcised, he doesn't want the Philistines to find him and torture him and all this kind of stuff. So he asked his armor bearer. Armor bearer wouldn't do it. So you sitting there, you're going to kill the king? More than likely not. Okay? Same respect for him that David did because of who he was. So when the armor bearer wouldn't kill him, what did Saul do? Takes his own sword and kills himself. And then the armor bearer sees that Saul's killed himself and the three sons are dead. So what's the armor bearer do? He kills himself. Okay? And then the Israelites are down in the valley, see what's going on, and they flee and run and scatter, and the Philistines come in and literally live in the city. They come in and literally take over. They all run. So they come in and occupy the cities. Now, next day, the Philistines go out, they start looking at the bodies, and they're trying to take the plunder, okay? Just like David did back from the Amalekites. So they're out there to see what they can get from these dead Israelites. They find Saul, and they get his armor, cut his head off, they take his armor, take it back down to their temples, and put it in their temples because this is the armor of the great king of Israel. We won our battle here, and do that. Then they take his body and three sons' bodies, and they nail them on the wall at Bethshan. The city we saw over the right hand, 5 miles from Galilee. That's how they treat Saul. And they're victors of battle, and they're not to nail the bodies up there of the king, right? That's what they did. They won the battle. So people gave us Gilead. Now, let's stop there. What had Saul done for the people of Jabesh Gilead way back in chapter 11? They rescued them because the Amorites, in this case, are going to come in and punch your right eye out of all the men. Remember that? That's the very first thing. Saul was made king in chapter 10. The very first thing he did when he made king was go up there and rescue the men of Jabesh Gilead. So they have a kind of a debt to pay for Saul, if you will, there. So when they find out what they've done with Saul's bodies and his men, they go by night. They go right to the city of Bethshan. They take the bodies down, and they burn them, they take the bones, and give them a proper burial. And they fast then for 7 days. Out of respect for Saul and who he was, the king of Israel, that's been slain in battle. And the Israelites now are totally disarrayed, totally scattered. This thing about it. Okay. Why did Saul die? Look at 1 Chronicles chapter 10. Why did God essentially kill Saul in this battle? That's exactly it. Finally, Doug read it for us. He names 2 reasons. Mainly it's the disobedience. 1 Chronicles 10, 13, and 14. Okay. Sheer disobedience. Why kill him? And it pitches in there the fact that he got a consulted meeting, which was not the fact that he consulted meeting, but he did not consult the Lord. Okay. Because this time, Saul has gotten so far off, we talked about this last time, God wouldn't speak to him, wouldn't tell him anything. Cut him off. So, sheer disobedience. Why God killed Saul and took the kingdom and gave it to David, the son of Jesse. Now, one more little point we'll get here before we get into these applications. And we got plenty of time tonight. 2 Samuel chapter 4, verse 4. Jump over there. I know we get ahead just a little bit here. But now this is going to be the news about this battle and what's happened. Maybe read 2 Samuel 4, 4 there if you would. Okay. We would jump like this now is because it ties right back into this news for this battle. Jonathan's son, Mephibosheth, he'll come back into play when we go to this part up here in 2 Samuel. But the reason he's lame is when the news came of the battle, Saul's dead, Jonathan's dead. Who's next in line? For the king. Okay? So since the Philistines are coming in and taking over, Mephibosheth's next in line for the throne. His nurse grabs him up and runs to go get him in protection. And when she does, she falls with him, and it finds it lame because of it. So interject that here because it ties into the results of this battle. We'll need to get over that. Okay. Anything anybody's got? We got some things to look at here. Chapter 29, 30 to 31. Comments? Anybody? Okay. We talked about in our scriptures looking at for each one of the kings that Saul went from 1 Samuel chapter 10 or so through the end of 1 Samuel. That's it. 2 Samuel pick up. We'll start with David starting Wednesday night. Well, let's think about some things here. How did David get the mess he was in? David's about to go up here and fight against his own people. You really think about it. He's marching with Achish, the king here. Who's he going to fight against? He's going to fight against the Israelites. Okay? If he went up there to battle with them, like he was going to, he'd been fighting against his own people. So, talked a little bit a couple of times back about God's providence. I don't know how providence works. I don't understand all of it. But God gave David a way out here. What was that way out? His Philistine commander said, no, he's not going with us. And the king had to give in to him, and David got sent back, which kept David from fighting against his own people. Now, there's a lot of history behind that with Saul chasing him, all this stuff. Why up there to start with? But here's a way out of a difficult situation for David. Compromising position. What's God do for us? Let's look at some of these passages. We've got just a few minutes. Look at these passages here. Of course, 1 Corinthians 10:13 says God's going to provide a way of escape. He'll give us something that we can bear. And I don't know, I totally understand that passage, that verse was talking about in general mankind or each individual person and what you can handle. Discussion about that. Hebrews 2, verse 18. Somebody find that. I'm going to find it. Hebrews 2:18 to read it. Somebody return these other two up there while he's doing that. Hebrews 2:18. Okay, talk about Christ. He was tempted, so he can help us when we're tempted. We're in difficult situations. James 1:12. Somebody got that one? Let it read for me. James 1:12. Okay, blessed the man when he's tempted. But when he's proved and it's reminded of temptation, he'll get a crown of life as God has provided for him. In 2 Peter 2:9. Okay, we're God. God knows how to give us the way out of situation. It's there. We just got to find it. We got to take advantage of it. Okay? Now, let's take that point there and tie it with this one. The things that seem to be going horribly wrong, who are we going to turn to? You kind of get this to the point here at David. David's about to be killed. They're about to stone him to death. David turns to the Lord. He needs help. And we've seen that over and over in the Psalms we've read about David. David needed help to be in a certain situation. And we looked several times at the first few verses of the Psalm. And the last part would be, you're my refuge, you're my way out. Same type thing here. So let's read the verses there in the writer Peter read up there. Psalms 118, verse 8. Psalms 118, verse 8. Mike, you'll find that one. Yeah. Where's your confidence going to be? Who are you going to trust in? Who's going to give you that way of escape that this guy we're talking about? God, yeah. Okay. Who you trust? That's who you turn to when you need help. Proverbs 3, verse 5, very familiar. Saying about the same thing. Ready? You want to read it? Proverbs 3, verse 5. I'll pin the Nahum 1:7. Okay, same concept of what Mike just read. Trust the Lord with all your heart. Don't depend on yourself. Okay, this other one from Nahum 1:7 is a little bit different. Bob?
Lord is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble. Let us trust him.
Okay, sounds like one David's Psalm said. The Lord's a stronghold in the time of trouble. Very much like what we read in some of the Psalms that David's written here. So, we got a problem. Got temptation facing us. Got things falling down all around us. There's a way out. What's that way out? Thank the Lord. Okay. We need these two slides here. If you take this one right there, you put that one with this one. Good preacher gets several sermons out of that, by the way. Those two slides up there. Way out, we'll just find it and take it. Trust in God. When David trusted the Lord said, go get them, rescue them, be successful. They went, and that was the end of that. Well, you go get your help. One more point right quick, and we talked about this a little bit already, but don't make too much out of this, but think about this with me a minute. Who's fighting this battle with Saul? About Jonathan. Being there with Saul fighting. We know about Jonathan and David and their relationship already. What have we seen Jonathan do with his father several times? Stood up to him and defended David several times. Okay? Stood up to him and defended David. Nothing about him being ugly about it. Nothing about him being disrespectful about it. He stood up and said, challenge him. Why are you doing this to David? He doesn't deserve this. Okay? But Jonathan's father is still what? He's king of Israel. Okay? So when it comes time to go to battle, he's vexed. Go out there with it. Fights it. we think about how we deal with our parents. Most of us in here, our parents are beyond that, but there are a few young folks in here that still have older parents to deal with and think about. Okay? Sorry. Yeah, yeah, he was. Yeah, family, yeah. Hang in with it. Okay. So in respect for his father, Mike says he's already got his own 5-year-old son at this point. He's not even in Saul's household anymore. He still has respect for him. And what I can get up to this. All right, 15 seconds. The time written the other ring. Goodness is on time. I got a 10-second comment. And that first mistake, instead of coming back, what did he do? Got deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Okay, we'll get into 2 Samuel. Oh, let's see, Sunday morning. 2 Samuel chapters 1 and 2. Chapter 1 and 2, 2 Samuel.